Greetings everybody, I'm Nick DiVirgilio and today's video is the best mics for kick drum. Let's go. What makes a great kick drum mic? Well, I would say the number one answer is something that reproduces the sound of the drum like you hear it in the room. Not colored in the way that makes you have to jump through hoops to get it to sound good in a song. It must be able to handle high SPL or very loud in non-technical terms, give you that big low end that kick drum should have, and also punchy enough to cut through the mix. In professional studios and recording situations, it's common to use 2 and even 3 mics to achieve the optimal sound and balance. But not all of us have the ability to walk into a studio and record. A lot of us record at home and need to get a great sound with minimal setup and gear. And I'm here to tell you that it is indeed possible to do that. It may take some time to dial in your space, some trial and error on mic placement, and of course, to make sure the drums and the drummer you're recording have all of their stuff together. I can't state this strongly enough. Am I speaking loud enough? I can't state it strongly enough. The best mic in the world recording a bad sounding instrument will get you a bad sounding instrument recorded. Microphones are not magic wands of sound. It all starts with the player and their gear. Get that sounding good first, and then find your favorite microphone or mics to record with. As you can probably tell, I have a lot of mics here with me today, and my goal is to give you a glimpse into each mic and what it sounds like. This is not a shootout, but rather a comparison. I've used every one of these mics here today at one time or another, and they really all do work very well. They all come in at different price points, and they all have a slightly different sound and feel. We will be going through 20 mics in today's video, and the majority of the mics I have here are dynamic mics. Let's go through those right now. And yes, I do have a cheat sheet, and yes, I do have my glasses so I could read my cheat sheet. Let's go. The first mic I have right here is the Audio-Technica ATM 250. It is a hypercardioid dynamic mic meant for kick drums or anything with low end. Let me take one quick second to mention here that all of these microphones can be used for other things other than just kick drum, especially anything with low end, your floor toms, bass guitar cabinets, even some regular guitar cabinets. These microphones will work well in all of those situations. So when you buy a microphone like this, you're getting more bang for your buck than just a kick drum microphone. Back to our list. Over here, I have a fantastic Audix D6. This microphone is used on touring stages and in recording studios all the time. It's really solid and works well. And it has a cardioid pickup pattern. Next is the Shure PGA 52, a dynamic microphone with a cardioid polar pattern. It comes in at a very nice price point and works well for sure. Next on this list right here is the Kicktone microphone. Now this mic, it's obviously bigger than all the other ones, and this kind of goes down the road of the speaker wired backwards sub mic kind of thing, except this one is a full range dynamic microphone. It picks up the whole range, not just the sub sound. It's very cool, and you'll hear it in just a second. Next on the list is the SE Electronics V-Kick. This is a cool dynamic microphone, again, with a super cardioid polar pattern. What's cool about this mic is that it has some dip switches on the back that can give you some pre-EQ'd sound, and they're calling them modern or classic. Next on our list is the AKG D12 VR. Again, a very cool microphone with 3 switches on the top to give you some tone shaping filters. Dynamic microphone with a cardioid polar pattern. Right behind that is the ever classic AKG D112. This mic has been around for years and years and years and always works, whether on the live stage or in the recording studio. This can be a drummer's favorite microphone. It's also a dynamic microphone and has a cardioid polar pattern. Next on the list is the Beyerdynamic TG D70, a very cool microphone that I've used in our video studio here on all kinds of videos. It has big fat low end, it's dynamic, but it has a hyper cardioid polar pattern. Next is the Electrovoice EV ND68. This one has a super cardioid large diaphragm dynamic microphone. Sounds great, it's been around for a long time, and it's really solid. We are going to go through all of these microphones so you can hear what they sound like, but I do have 3 mics already installed on the drum kit. Let's go through those. At the kick drum hole is the Shure Beta 52. It's a super cardioid dynamic microphone, a classic that has been around forever and used every day in the Sweetwater recording studio. Inside the kick drum is the Shure Beta 91A, a half cardioid kick drum microphone. That's sort of a boundary mic. It sounds great inside the kick drum, but you can also place it on the floor right in front of the drum kit as well. And last but not least is one of the condenser microphones we have here for you today, the Neumann FET 47 large diaphragm condenser microphone. A classic mic that sounds great on the front of the kick drum, not in the hole, but on the front of the kick drum, and I'll show you what that means in just a second. Speaking of condenser mics, and even a ribbon mic, let me show you what else I have here on the table. Let's start with the Earthworks SR20LS, a condenser mic made for kick drum. It's a low sensitivity cardioid condenser bass drum microphone that works well, and you'll hear it in just a second. Next on the list is the DPA 4011, an incredible microphone, a cardioid condenser mic that sounds great on kick drum, but also just about any other instrument you put in front of it. Next on our list is the Lauten Audio LA220, a fantastic large diaphragm FET condenser. I'm going to put it in the front of the kick drum like the Neumann FET 47 to give you that kind of open sound where you're picking up all of the drum, and use it in conjunction with the other kick drum microphones. The last condenser mic to tell you about, which I don't have on the table right now, but it will be on the kick drum, is the DPA 4055, a pre-polarized condenser kick drum microphone with an open cardioid polar pattern. It really is fantastic. You can put it anywhere on the drum, inside, outside, in front, and it sounds big and round like a kick drum should. The last mic for today's demonstration, I picked a ribbon mic, the Royer R121. This is a super versatile microphone you can use for just about anything. Great on guitar cabinets, also great on kick drums out in front, like I'm going to use the FET 47 and the Lauten microphone. You put it in front, not the hole, because you don't want the air to go in the ribbon, but in front of the microphone, you're going to pick up some nice brightness and attack. You couple that with the other microphones on the kick drum, and you're going to get a great sound. This is a good time to let you know that back in 2019, our own Lynn Fuston did a fantastic kick drum mic shootout. Even though it was made 3.5 years ago, wow, time really does fly. It's still very relevant today. It has many of the same mics I'm using here in today's video. If you want to get into kick drum mics even more, then I encourage you to check out that shootout article. The link is in the description below. In order to make sure this video is not too long, which I know it already is, I'm going to play each mic, the kick drum on its own, and then a simple groove so you can hear what each mic sounds like. I will also have some combinations for you to hear as well. Everything is being recorded through a UA Apollo X8P and on into Pro Tools. No coloration of the sound is happening at all. You're hearing the mics as they are. In this video, I want you to hear what the mics sound like in this controlled environment. It'll be your base starting point, but before I go over to the drums and start going through all these microphones, I want you to know that above the kit, I have an Earthworks SR25 for an overhead, and on the snare drum, I have an Earthworks DM20. The reason I have those microphones is because when you hear a kick drum in a recording, you're not just hearing the kick drum mic on its own, you're hearing it mixed in with all of the other mics. So when you get a kick drum sound, it's not just the single mic, it's everything mixed together, giving you the kick drum sound. So you'll hear the mic on its own, in combination with the other kick drum mics, and also with the overhead and snare drum mic. All right, let's get into it. Follow me. Let's go. And there you go, all of these wonderful microphones recorded with a Mapex Saturn V-Series Tour Edition kick drum, a Ludwig Universal Series 8x14-inch brass snare drum, Sabian Anthology 14-inch hi-hats, and while these are certainly not all of the microphones you can use for recording kick drum, they're certainly some of the very best. There's links to the product pages of all of these microphones below, and if you want even more info, just contact your Sweetwater sales engineer. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I'm Nick DiVirgilio. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Click right here for more videos just like this one, or go to sweetwater.com for all your music instrument and pro audio needs.